We often notice coincidences, right? Those moments when things just seem to uh, line up.
Yeah, unexpectedly.
But have you ever stopped to think maybe it's not just random?
Hmm.
Our source material today talks about an intricate dance of connection. Like the universe is maybe winking back at us.
It does make you ask, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Could these things that seem totally separate actually be part of some bigger pattern? Something beyond just pure chance.
Maybe some kind of resonance.
Exactly, a deeper connection between people, between events.
Well, that's precisely what we're digging into today. We've got this incredible personal story. It spans 40 years.
40 years, wow.
Yeah, detailing how the lives of this person, David Schweizer, and our chronicler just weave together. It's based on journals, emails, conversations, a whole range of things.
That kind of detailed long-term personal account is fascinating. It lets you see the experience of these connections, not just the statistics.
You get the texture of it.
Right, it moves beyond just saying, what are the odds?
And some of the connections here are, well, they're pretty wild. We're going to talk about two people totally independently starting to build pyramid kits.
Okay, that's unusual.
Uh-huh. And near misses in Arizona, like ships passing in the night. And some really crucial introductions David made that completely changed the chronicler's direction.
Pivotal moments.
Yeah. So our goal here is to trace these threads, to see how these separate life events maybe weave together into, a meaningful tapestry.
Sounds great. Where do we start?
Okay, let's start right at the beginning. The chronicler first met David in New York City. Seems simple enough.
Well, on the surface, maybe. But David actually lived in Hartford, Connecticut at the time.
Ah, okay.
So meeting in New York,
Mm.
it's not impossible, obviously, but it's maybe the first little hint, a slight detour from the everyday path.
A little nudge from the universe, perhaps.
Could be, just setting the stage.
And then it gets more interesting. A bit later, in the 1980s, both of them moved to South Miami.
Independently?
Totally independently, no coordination.
Okay, now that's a bigger convergence. Meeting in a huge place like New York is one thing, but both ending up in the same specific area down south.
Right. Without planning it, makes you wonder.
It does. It sort of suggests maybe there are unseen currents, shared interests, or maybe just places drawing people together who are meant to connect.
An unseen pull, yeah. But okay, here's where it gets really head-scratching.
Oh,
Around the same time they're both in South Miami, David starts making pyramid kits.
pyramid kits, like miniature pyramids.
Exactly. Now you might think, okay, a bit niche, but maybe.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yes. At the exact same time, the chronicler's mate, Barbara, also starts building pyramid kits.
No way.
Yes way. And neither David nor Barbara knew the other was doing it. Total strangers at this point, both building these specific things.
Okay, that's specific. Building pyramid kits isn't like, taking up jogging.
Not at all.
Two people, same area, same unusual hobby, simultaneously, completely unaware of each other.
Sure.
The odds of that being pure coincidence feel really slim.
Vanishingly small, maybe? And there's another layer.
Go on.
Both David and Barbara were studying with Ramtha back then.
Huh? The same teacher.
The same teacher. So you've got this highly specific, independent activity, plus a shared spiritual influence in the background.
Okay, that adds context, but it almost makes it stranger, doesn't it? Did Ramtha talk about pyramids? Maybe that sparked it.
The chronicler doesn't explicitly say, but even if the teaching sparked the idea, the fact they both independently acted on it, building kits at the same time,
Yeah,
it's still pretty remarkable.
it really is. It makes you think about how shared learning can sometimes bubble up in these parallel, unexpected ways. Still, the synchronicity of the action is striking.
Totally. Okay, so let's shift gears to Arizona. This part is almost comical.
The near misses.
The near misses. David and Barbara had a mutual friend out there, Jim Mayhew, in Castle Rock.
Okay.
Barbara visited Jim 3 different times.
Hmm.
And every single time, Jim apparently said something like, oh, you just missed David Schweitzer. He was just here. And not only David Schweitzer, but another friend, David Husin, too.
3 times. She just missed both of them.
3 times. It's like they were all orbiting the same point, these key people, but just out of phase. Circling, circling.
Wow. That feeling of being almost there, right on the edge of connection. The universe was setting the table, but hadn't quite seated everyone yet.
Exactly. But the timing did eventually line up for some really important introductions, facilitated by David.
Ah, okay.
David, along with a couple of others, John Baer and Harry Bartz, introduced the chronicler to recordings of someone called Mafu.
Mafu. Okay.
And this introduction, seemingly small, kicked off a whole chain reaction.
A catalyst moment. It opened a door.
A huge door, because later, totally separately, the chronicler got a job working for Shirley MacLaine. Met her via the Monroe Institute, actually.
Interesting connection.
And while working for MacLaine in LA, someone just casually invited the chronicler to a Mafu event.
Closing the loop. Stemming all the way back to David's introduction.
Precisely. And get this, the chronicler mentions having a channeling reading years before Mafu was really known, that predicted this meeting.
Whoa. Okay, adding a layer of prediction or maybe preordination.
Yeah. It really deepens that feeling of an intricate web, doesn't it? That reading, then David's introduction, the job, the casual invitation.
It suggests that maybe the potential for that connection was already there, resonating somehow, before it actually happened in the physical world.
And David himself was also part of that Mafu circle around then. He was attending events in California, too.
So they shared that interest.
Yeah, the chronicler mentions walking and talking with David in Pacific Palisades, probably discussing all these ideas.
Those shared experiences, those conversations, these solidify connections, build understanding. Makes sense.
And then the pyramid theme comes back.
Oh, really? How so?
David got involved in a pyramid project. And apparently, Mafu actually referred to David as Hermes.
Hermes, as in?
As in the name linked to the main architect of the Egyptian pyramids.
Wow, that's quite a label, a very direct symbolic link.
Oh, right. It ties him right back to the essence of pyramids. Maybe sheds light on why he was drawn to building those kits way back when.
He could, yeah. Whether you take it literally or metaphorically, it's a powerful connection.
It really makes you think, like the chronicler does. Could there be something deep inside us, maybe in our DNA even, echoes of past lives or blueprints of experiences?
That idea of innate knowledge or predispositions.
Yeah, and the whole we are stardust idea. Maybe there's a fundamental interconnectedness that pulls us towards certain things, certain people.
Definitely touches on those big questions about collective memory or deeper energetic fields influencing us, things we don't fully understand.
For sure. So then comes another invitation from David. He asks the chronicler to come join this pyramid project in Sedona, Arizona.
Sedona, a place known for energy vortexes and spiritual seeking. Seems fitting.
Totally. So the chronicler flies into Phoenix, and who's there at the airport to meet them?
Let me guess. David Schweizer.
David Schweizer and David Hewson.
Both of them. The other near-miss guy.
Exactly. Another one of those connections finally clicking into place. Right there at the airport.
Okay, the universe isn't being subtle anymore. It's like, right, you two meet.
Pretty much. And then that same evening, David says, hey, we're going to see Zoran tonight. Want to come?
Zoran. Another teacher or channel.
Seems so. And the point the chronicler makes is, wow, David introduced me to Mafu, and now David is introducing me to Zoran.
The same person facilitating these two major spiritual introductions.
Yeah. The synchronicity of him being the conduit for both is really highlighted.
He really does seem to play the role of a connector in this story, a facilitator.
Definitely. And the Sedona convergence keeps rolling. The chronicler decides to move there, finds a little trailer by a creek.
Sounds idyllic.
And guess who is just about to rent that exact same trailer?
Don't tell me. Barbara.
Yeah.
The pyramid kit builder.
Barbara. That's how they finally met, face to face, after all those years and near misses, over this trailer.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Puzzle pieces are really snapping together now.
That's exactly how the chronicler describes it. And it wasn't just the chronicler meeting Barbara. Both David Schweitzer and David Hewson also met Barbara for the first time right around then in Sedona.
So everyone connects. All the main players finally converge in one place.
Yeah, after circling for years, it really feels like things falling into place.
Almost like an orchestrated finale to that phase of the story.
Totally. Now, beyond just the events, the chronicler gives us a sense of David himself. Describes him as having a heart of gold.
A good soul.
Yeah, and also believes he has this exceptionally high IQ. There's even a story about him just picking up complex tasks instantly, things that usually need specific training.
Like an innate capability, just knowing how to do things.
Seems like it. Which makes you wonder, do qualities like that, maybe high intelligence or openness, make someone more tuned in?
That's a really interesting thought. Maybe being highly intuitive or just genuinely curious and open to connection makes you more receptive to these synchronicities, or even helps create them.
Could be. And his interests are broad, too. He's apparently had an acupuncture practice in Miami for a long time.
Okay.
But he uses lasers. So it's this blend of ancient wisdom and modern tech.
Fascinating combination. Ancient healing, cutting-edge tools.
Yeah. And he also explored Zen Buddhism, really values meditation.
That holistic view, mind, body, spirit, often seems linked to people who report more of these meaningful coincidences. Maybe that inner alignment helps you perceive the outer patterns.
The chronicler seems to think so, says meditation is a key tool for seeing these connections.
Makes sense. Quieting the noise to hear the whispers.
And both the chronicler and Barbara apparently see David as someone who embodies, well, they say he brings heaven to earth.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah, like he lives that divine connection in his everyday life, and they see meditation as the practical way to get there.
So the idea is that living more harmoniously within yourself, maybe through practices like meditation, actually makes you experience more of this synchronicity, this meaningful connection in the world.
That seems to be their perspective, yeah.
It suggests it's not just passive observation, but maybe something you cultivate.
And the connection continues. David and his wife, Sherry, are still involved with the chronicler's work today. They contribute to research for that website, revolutionoflove.com.
So it wasn't just a series of past events. The connection, the collaboration, it's ongoing.
Exactly. It speaks to the depth of the relationships forged through all those strange and wonderful synchronicities.
It really underscores that these weren't just fleeting coincidences, but pathways to lasting connections.
There's a quote in the source material that just nails it, I think. It says, "Some people aren't just threads in the tapestry, they're the very needles that guide the weaving."
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that's how the chronicler seems to see David, as one of those needles actively shaping the pattern, bringing people and events together.
A powerful metaphor. Someone who doesn't just experience the flow, but actively helps direct it for others.
So yeah, looking back at this whole story, the sheer number of specific, unlikely connections involving David Schweizer and the chronicler, it really does feel like more than just random luck.
Absolutely. The shared hobbies appearing out of nowhere, the geographical convergences, the near misses resolving into key introductions. It paints a picture of a deeply interconnected narrative.
A tapestry woven with maybe intentional threads.
Or at least threads resonating with each other in a way we don't fully grasp.
It really does make you think about your own life, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had those moments, those meaningful coincidences that felt like, well, like more? Could there be unseen forces or resonances shaping your experiences? What are the threads connecting the seemingly random bits of your own life?
It's definitely something worth reflecting on. What patterns might emerge if you really look? A fascinating thought to leave people with.